maybe have the same goals. Maybe you want to be a full-time artist. Maybe you just want to sculpt a bunch of little guys in your free time. Whatever that is. Welcome back to Hodge Podge Art Studio. I'm Liza, and this is my little zoo of clay animals. Today, we're going to jump into what a day in the life looks like for me as a small business owner who makes little guys. Spoiler alert, it's fun, it's messy, it's full of paint, and lots of coffee. So grab a cup and come join me. In my last video, I might have said I didn't sit here and sculpt all day. Well, some days it really does look like that. I mean, to make all of these little guys, you just gotta sit and sculpt. And if you can tell, at the speed in which I'm adding this hair, it is not a fast process. But how did I get here? Well, let's go back. Picture this. I'm 5 or 6 years old. I'm in an art class. Our teacher hands me a block of clay and says, "Liza, you can make anything you want." Well, that could be anything. Anything I want. The world is my oyster. And to little Liza, that was kind of dangerous because I had to figure out exactly what that was going to be. And then I decided I was going to make a raccoon. It didn't look much like this. It looked more like a snowman with inner tubes around it. I think those were supposed to be stripes. I wish I had a picture. It's pretty funny. But what I did figure out was I could make that. I could bake it in my home oven and it would get hard. And I could make anything I wanted. This is basically like a toy. And I didn't think the toy companies did it right. They didn't make enough stuff for the daily life. And frankly, they made way too many dolls and not enough animals. And bless the German doll maker who invented this stuff, but I was never really into dolls. So my best friend and I made our own toys. We had a whole village of tiny animals, even probably about this size. And they had currency, they had food, they had toys, they even had houses. And this village sprawled all over our parents' houses, let me tell you. They had caravans, they had traders, it was quite an ornate deal. It was great. I mean, we sculpted for years, made our own toys. Eventually I did craft fairs, sculpted through college. I made things more like this, and now I'm just surrounded by all these different sculptures, and it's great. I really enjoy it. You know, sculpting makes my heart happy. Now, what makes your heart happy? Are you doing that? Why aren't you doing it if you're not? I had to ask myself those questions. Liza, what can you do that makes you happy? Because for a while, I was doing something that was soul-sucking and really drained me. And I had to think about what was going to make me happy. And this makes me happy. So, I started doing this more. And now, I want this to be everything I do. So that's what I decided to do. Now, not every day looks like me sculpting all these things. Sometimes I'm sitting on the computer trying to figure out technical things that go way over my head and I just don't understand. But the fun stuff, the good stuff, and the technical stuff, it's really a learning experience. You know, I like to know everything, which I can't possibly, but I like to think I do. And learning all these aspects of the business, you know, the website and how the website works and the marketing, actually making the things and making a little series of guys so that they fit together. And then showing them to you guys. I mean, there is a way in which I have to present these to you. If I just said, hey, look at this, I mean, okay, great. But you have to do it in a way that's interesting. And that's something that I'm still struggling with because it's hard to talk to the phone. You're essentially talking to no one. So I'm just hoping that whoever's on the other side of this right now might be going through the same stuff I am and might be interested in what I have to say. I mean, I hope you are. That's the goal, to find a community of people who are like-minded and are going through the same things. And maybe have the same goals. Maybe you want to be a full-time artist. Maybe you just want to sculpt a bunch of little guys in your free time. Whatever that is. I hope this finds you. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. You see these dust particles all over the place? This is what happens when you're sculpting. And you take a break and you leave it out. I've been sculpting on this guy for probably a couple weeks now, and I got dust and dogs and all that floating around. The good thing about using this clay is not only that it holds details really well, but I painted. All this dust is just going to get hidden under paint. You know, I could sit here and I could work with isopropyl, try to dip the paintbrush in it and try to get all these little hairs out, but honestly, I'd be here forever. You know, with every sculpture, I learn something new. And fur has certain ways in which it goes across a body. And sometimes it'll bunch up in areas. You have to follow these patterns and these paths that the fur goes. And if you don't follow those paths when you're sculpting, people are going to notice. They might not know what is wrong, but they're going to know something's wrong. You're probably wondering what I put in that little bowl. Well, that's isopropyl. And I use that when I need to smooth things out. So this tool, it pills. I don't know how else to explain it, but you see all the little clay balls? It looks like when your sweater pills. So it makes all these little clay balls, these clay pills. And I like to take my silicone tool with a little isopropyl afterwards and smooth it out. It also makes the fur look a little softer and not so hard and jagged. And then I just go back and forth forever. I'll use this, I'll smooth everything out, I'll go back in with some more details. And if I put enough isopropyl on it, it actually starts giving me details as well. But they're softer. Now, you have to be careful with isopropyl and polymer clay though, because it does eat away at it. And because of that, you can make a big mushy mess if you use too much. Which is why I'm not pouring it on. See the fur patterns? I've been dreading these paws. They're not even, and I need to make sure that each one is just right, and they're all slightly in a different direction. I think I'm going to start with this one though. Once I get down that leg, I need to start at least doing one paw, so I have an idea of how I'm going to do them. Alright, so it's coming along. I still have a long way to go, but look at that paw. So this is my office. This is my little office friend. He's a little grumpy right now because I think he's hungry. Whoops. He'll be fine. This is where I do like other work, so we're not gonna look at that. And this is my art horseshoe. This is where I film everything because it's easier to film this way. Plus, it has this nice backdrop of all this cool stuff. And like all of my art that I've collected from different artists, and you know, all the sculptures that I've collected from different artists. Some of it is mine, some of it I've collected from myself. And then just like all this organization. See, I'm kind of organized. I don't know, whatever. And then my stars. I have a third one somewhere. So you've probably noticed it's got a little darker in here. It's not the same bright and shiny it was earlier. Well, it's getting late in the day, and I've really gotten nowhere on this gal right here. She still doesn't have a name. I'm open to suggestions for names. I'm also open to animals that you think I should sculpt as a wild form. You know, this style animal. I'm always adding to my list, but she's coming along. Definitely not as far as I was hoping she'd come today, but this week has been good. I got a little R&R. I got a little done on this. I started a little more on these things, and I set up some classes to teach. That is really exciting. So guys, I'm Liza. I'll catch you next time. I put a bunch of links to all the stuff I use in the description. And if you liked this video, give it a like. And I'm going to make more videos like this. So hit the subscribe button. Bye!